So recently, War Thunder did a thing in which they added World War One stuff into essentially, well, War Thunder. And that pretty much hyped a lot of people up, mainly because the World War One was a hell of a war, and of course, mainly because it's actually fun to see some World War One stuff in War Thunder. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the possibility of a World War One campaign slash units in Enlisted. So without further ado, let's just get started. Before we even have to start, we have to talk about some of the World War One stuff we already have. For example, some of the German early rifles have been in through World War One or been used during the Great War. And to be honest, some of the early Soviets and Americans and even Japanese rifles have been used in World War One, so this shouldn't be any big surprise. What is a big surprise is the fact that we have even some pre-World War One rifles that you could have possibly got. For example, for the Soviets you had the Verdun, and for the Germans you have the Gewehr 1888, which is pretty unique if you ask me. Moving on, we also do have a mod, and that is World War One, and it's Verdun, I think. I think that's the official name of the mod, Verdun. And there's even a German event that contains the German helmet with a front plate. I do think this is called the Stirnpanzer, and I do think it's actually pretty unique if you ask me. This is, of course, all the references that we have for World War One, and I do think I am missing some, but you guys get the idea. World War One is not anything unique to Enlisted. As a matter of fact, I think it's pretty common because, like, let's be honest, some of the World War One weapons that we have in game are pretty much going to be used in World War Two historically, so that's an important thing to note. However, let's talk about something that most people are going to be talking about, and that is the fact that should Enlisted add World War One? And the answer is no. The reason is simple. For one, most of the early war weapons is pretty much World War One already, and some of the late war weapons just don't make sense. For example, adding the MP-18 just doesn't make sense in World War One, even though we have it in game, and even though we have it as of right now. The main reason is because for the majority of the war, both sides just practically use bolt-action rifles. And if we really wanted to add a tank, it just makes World War One seem like 1918. Hence, the idea of adding World War One just completely defeats itself, considering the fact that if we're really doing World War One, we're literally just doing 1918. Because apparently it isn't the Great War, it's just 1918, which is not a great idea if you ask me. What I do think Enlisted should do, if they do a World War One campaign, and you guys will instantly see why this is such a bad idea, is that Enlisted should practically only have bolt-action rifles for the early war, and of course machine guns once again for the early war, which kind of limits everything down to two stuff: machine gun and rifle. And there's no in between, there's just that and that, unless you go to 1918, which I don't suggest, and practically it's just that. If you personally ask me, I think it's a very bad idea, not because it's not fun, but Enlisted's entire system, although very fun and very unique, is not going to be the best for the Great War, mainly because of the fact that people are just going to be bored, and there's no World War II, semi-automatic weapons, if not fully automatic weapons. However, if people are actually not going to be bothered by that, one of which is me, I think it's a very good idea, then Enlisted should do that. Enlisted should actually add World War One. We already could do just some more maps, and all we have to do is to change some unit models and call it a day, quite literally. Said, I want to know your opinions, because my opinions are just my opinions, and I do think Enlisted should do it, but at the same time, it's a very boring if you ask some people. I personally think having bolt-action rifles is quite fun. That's that. In my personal opinion, this is my thoughts, and comment in the comment section down below of what do you guys think, because I need to know your thoughts. So, that's that. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.